What's up, everybody? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. For this Tuesday, October 6, 2020, I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you could be here today. I'm quite aware you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know you could have been anywhere in this world today, but you decided to be here with me, and I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesdays, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody around the world. Welcome to Transition Tuesdays as we have Karen joining us. What's going on, Karen? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Glad to have you, Karen. Well, guys, before we start, and I have a special guest joining us, we got an action-packed show. We have a lot of fun today, as we always do on a Tuesday. But before I begin, I just want to talk about my intentions for the show. And my intentions is to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transitions. So that's what we do here on Transition Tuesdays, okay? So, again, like I mentioned, we're waiting on my special guest to arrive. We're going to be talking. I can't wait for this guest to come on, too. This guy, man, oh, my God. You talk about energy. This guy, you got to match this guy energy for energy, man, when this person comes on. So, just waiting for that call. And, special guest, if you're not getting through on the video, call the hotline. Call the hotline, okay? All right. So what we can do beforehand, before my guest comes on, let's talk about the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, ladies and gentlemen. And that is number 45 coming down with COVID-19, coming down with the coronavirus. That's what they're saying. That's what he's saying. So we'll talk about that. So let's recap, give a little timeline. Well, this president, number 45, he checked into the hospital on Thursday when he was, he didn't really announce when he contracted coronavirus, but he checked into the hospital on Thursday. And then apparently his situation turned for the worse on Friday. And then you had doctors who had, a press conference about, him being in the hospital and, talking about it. But the doctors never giving up, the lead doctor never giving up the information on when he contracted coronavirus. It could have been Tuesday. It could have been the actual date of the debates. It could have been that time. And, man, was that something? If you, ladies and gentlemen, didn't see that, the debates was something else. I didn't let Biden get a word in elsewise, but he could have contracted the virus then. We don't know. Could have been Wednesday, could have been Thursday. We have no idea because the doctors is not giving any information on when he acquired the virus. So after that fiasco with the doctors, and I tell you what, guys, I felt really bad for that doctor, man. I really felt bad for him because they put him in a tough spot saying, when did he come down with it? And he didn't want to divulge that information. So that seems very interesting. Very, very interesting, I might say. So from there, next, you had the infamous joyride in which this president decides that he wants to surprise his supporters out there waiting for him, wishing him good wishes and well-wishing outside the hospital. So he decides to get his detail and hop into one of the SUVs. And ladies and gentlemen, we're paying for that, right? Taxpayers is paying for that, right? But he goes for a joyride and decides to wave to his supporters. And I thought, I was under the impression, okay, maybe he's checking out and maybe he's going back to the White House. But no, his detail makes a U-turn and turns right back to the hospital. Very weird, but that's what happened. Then, oh my God, after that, next day he checks out he discharged out from the hospital. He helicopters it to the White House. And then, for some nice photo ops and walking down, down the stairs and into the SUV and then onto the helicopter. And then the helicopter lands on the White House lawn. And then he's going up the stairs. And, oh my God, he's going up the stairs to do that. And then, finally, for the photo op, he takes off his mask, ladies and gentlemen. takes off his mask, does that. And then he's there for like 2 minutes, and for some apparent reason, he's saluting. I don't know who he was saluting. I can't even tell you who he was saluting, but he was saluting. And then to top that off, he decides to make a video that he broadcast. And man, I don't know what's going on. We got Keisha joining us here today on Transition Tuesday. What's up? What up, though, Keish? We also got my man Steve Boyle joining us here on Transition Tuesdays. What's up, Steve? And we have Steve on, I believe, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Make sure you check out that episode with Steve Boyle. Riveting episode. Thank you for joining us, Steve. Appreciate you, my man. So, yeah, we have all that drama and mayhem and fiasco, and the guy takes off his mask, and he's looking strong, I guess, in his mind, and tough, and, looking at the camera and saluting. I don't know who he was saluting, who knows? And then he goes, makes a video, and then he walks back into a guy who's contaminated with the virus. Some would say he's not contaminated. I don't know. But I'm going to ask you guys this. So, here's the question I asked. And I'm going to try to reach out to my special guest. But, now, here's the question I have to ask. Because, again, I have to say this too before I begin. On his speech that he had, he talked about how, you shouldn't be afraid of this virus. He said something very important, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure if you caught it, but he said, maybe he might be immune. He's not sure. So that brings me to the question I want to ask everybody out there. Do you think this president, number 45, does he actually have COVID-19? Do you think he actually has it? And you know what? That's really a sad question to ask because, because you would think, if it's reported about it and then you see these fiasco that's going on, but again, I have to ask the question, does number 45 actually have COVID-19? Because he's saying that he might be immune to it. I don't know. I'm asking you guys, please reach out, comment. Do you think number 45 has the virus? That's the question I have to ask the masses. For me, it just seems crazy. I mean, all this fiasco. I mean, what's going to happen next? We'd have no idea. But I don't know. I just been thinking about this. Maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe he's immune to it. I don't know. Is this a show? I mean, I know he was down like 15% in the polls. He didn't do a good job during the debates. We all know that. You had, cause of diversion. He's talking about the last time we tuned in with this president, the last thing we were talking about him denouncing white supremacy. And, he didn't do that. And then you have this fiasco that's going on. So it ponders the thought. I mean, it's just something I've been thinking about. Does this guy actually have COVID-19? And it's a sad state of affairs that we have to even question that, But based on the dishonesty this president has with the American public, I think that's a great question to ask. And I ask you, do you think number 45 has coronavirus? Okay, I ask you. So let me do this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to call my special guest, see if I can get the person on the line, the hotline. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we can do. Hold on 1 second. Hopefully I can get this young man. Okay, let's see.
Hey,
Special guest.
what's going on?
What's going on? Hey, man. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ponder what we were talking about a little later on in the conversation. So, again, I ask you guys, does this president have coronavirus? We're going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about that with my special guest, but let me set up my special guest here, okay? Now, my special guest here was a PSAL city champion at Abraham Lincoln High School in Bklyn. He played at Maine Central Institute. This guy was a McDonald's All-American nominee. There are not too many people walking this earth who was a McDonald's All-American nominee. He is a 5-time gold medalist at the Empire State Games. He was a first-team All-State member. He graduated from Fairleigh Dickinson University, where he starred there, and he played in the NIT, the 1992 NIT, National Invitational Tournament, which I was a part of that year, too. He is the current dean and basketball coach at Martin DePorres High School. He is the founder of Basketball Headzz and the host of Basketball Headzz Live, seen every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday on IG Live. Ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, please help me welcome Mr. Glenn Pooh Harding to Transition Tuesdays. Glenn, what's up, my brother?
I'm doing well, my brother.
All right. My man Glenn. It's great to have you, man. Like I talked to you before, you know, I had the utmost pleasure of being on Basketball Headzz, and I said, hey, Glenn, I got to have you back on the show. And this guy is a man of his words. I know he has the busy schedule. He's making some time for us too, man. So I appreciate that, G. Hey, G, man, before we begin, man, I know if you're new to the show, again, I'm going to make you feel like you're part of the show and like you're my guest here, like you're in my couch right now. So here's what I'm going to do for you, G. I'm going to play a song for you, man, that I really think about. Every time I hear this song, I think of my man, Pooh. You know what I mean? I think of him all the time, man. So I'm going to play this song, G. You let me know if you can recognize the name of this song, all right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hang on one second.
Brooklyn's in the house.
Bklyn in the House by Cutmaster DC.
That's right.
Man, in 1986, I think this song was made. Man.
Definitely my memories.
Oh my God. And you know what? You know what's the funny thing too, G? Is like, hold on, I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. But no matter where you go, Bklyn is always in the house. You agree, man?
Yeah, man. We're always somewhere in the room.
Yes, absolutely. You can go to North Dakota, it don't matter, man. Wyoming, Bklyn is always in the house. There's always someone there from Bklyn.
Yeah, man.
Also, hey, G, I got another treat for you, man. Okay, I'm gonna play this next song for you. Okay, now tell me what you think of this. If you ever heard this song before, check this out. Hold on a second. Okay. All right.
Here comes the pitch, and it comes in wide. On the count now is 1-1 to Jackie Robinson. Billy Martin right over the second base.
You hear that there?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Bklyn, Buckshot, and that's the Headzz.
Oh, my man. Oh, Crooklyn Dodgers, right from that Crooklyn joint.
That's right, Crooklyn Dodgers.
Oh, my God, man. I thought I was going to be able to stump you on that, G, but I guess I can't, man. I mean, you a fellow rapper yourself, so I know you know all those people who was involved with that particular joint, because that was a big one there, man.
Yeah. That was my joint, man. And it kind of brought those guys like Special Ed and Master Ace back to the forefront, you know?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and Master Ace, man, one of the underrated cats, man, and he's still doing it out here, too. Master Ace, man, was one of the better dudes.
Yeah, let me give you a little story behind the symphony, right?
Wait, you got a symphony story for us? Oh, what you got, man?
All right. Well, according to my guy Kane, no one wanted to do that verse first.
Okay.
So you got guys like Coochie Rap, Kane, Craig G in the room, and Master Ace was like the new guy.
Right.
So, of course, the new guy stepped up the bat first. So the first verse that you hear that's with the lineup went. And after Master Ace finished verse, it inspired Kane and Coochie Rap and Craig G to get on the record.
Get out of here. So because of Master Ace, he inspired those cats.
Yes, because no one wanted to go first. So if Master Ace doesn't go first, the song doesn't get done.
Wow. Man.
And Coochie Rap verse is way longer than what we hear.
Really?
It was already long. It was way longer than that.
Wow, man. So here's the question I got for you, G, and maybe you might know some information on this. How does a guy from Brooklyn make his way to the bridge to perform the symphony with with Marley Marl? How does that happen? How does the guy from Brooklyn get out of Brooklyn to go to Queensbridge?
Because Master Ace sought out DJ Marley Marl, and then when they hooked up, he was going to start working on Master Ace stuff, but of course he had to prove himself to the fellas.
Right. Wow, man. Little tidbit. Look at this, man. This guy G, man. Now you know ball. We're gonna get into ball, but now you know about the tidbit. That's some deep history too, man. I never heard that one before. That's good stuff, G.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah.
man.
And also, if you go online, the record Raw from Kane. The original version was with him and Coogee Rap.
Really? Him and Coogee Rap, man.
You can check that out online.
Wow, him and Coogee Rap, man. And Coogee Rap is another unheralded guy too, man. Coogee Rap. You know the thing I liked about Coogee Rap, G, was like when you heard his rhymes, like he was one of those great storytellers. You feel like you were there, man. Like Road to the Riches, Live and Die, all type of stuff, man. Oh my gosh, yeah, Coogee Rap was the man. Still is.
Now, do you know why the music industry changed from KRS-One, Public Enemy, Tribe Called Quest, We the New School, X-Clan? Do you know what happened?
What happened?
Like 90, there was a meeting that took place.
Okay.
This letter is online. You can check it out.
Okay.
I'm actually, I'll talk to you about that offline. But
okay.
It's actually a letter that was written in 91. It was published in Hip Hop Wire. Published it. And its executive said that there was a meeting between the music industry and the private prison industry and the government, right? To shift the messages in the music. Because you got to remember, all the best music during that time came from independent labels.
Okay.
So when the majors started to step in, they wanted to redirect the messages of the music. So instead of saying, like brothers and sisters, we're going to focus on people saying niggas and bitches.
Really?
So they shifted the culture to the gang culture on the West Coast, and that incited the violence in the music. And that, of course, with the crack era, right? Pushing that in, now you got a three-flow, right? You locking them up for drugs. You making sure they get excited by the music, because if you turn the Hot 97 or whatever 5.1, and then you turn the Z100, you hear the difference in the music.
Definitely. Yep.
And it's done purposely.
So that was done purposely back then in the 90s, right?
Oh, for sure. And then they switched it to the money grab, right? So this is when, the Jay-Z's and Puff became really popular. And it was shutting doors on other people, blackballing other people to get those dollars that the industry was getting, because the industry was getting a lot of money. But those guys kept the doors closed. So guys like myself and others, a slew of other really good hip-hop artists who were solid, couldn't get through the door.
Right.
So then, after the money grab in the industry went dead, what did they do? They started pushing the non-vibrational music, the low vibrational music. They know, listen, these people know good music and bad music.
Right.
So they let the floodgate of back. Now, I'm not knocking those people, because anybody who can make a living doing what they love to do is a great thing. But it doesn't touch the soul. So they took the soul out of the music. That's why there's no R&B, right?
Right.
Even before social distancing, you couldn't go to the club and dance with your woman anymore, because they took all of the cabaret licenses.
Wow.
But people wasn't even noticing that. It was a slow process.
Okay. Man. I tell you, man, my man.
I don't want to get too heavy on you, man, but I've seen a lot, and and definitely study all the stuff that I've been involved with.
Definitely. Hey man, we're gonna talk hoops as we do, but again, a lot of people know you, right, Glenn, from more from music than they do basketball, right? Because I know you've been heavy into the rap and and music wise too, right?
It's a balance, Russ.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, with all the people that been on, all those guys know me from basketball.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got the people who, in the music industry that do music that they know me from that because they was into the ball.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's kind of a balance. If I would say overall, more people know me from basketball than music.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because I got to come out in public with the music. With my basketball, I never got to come out in public with the music.
Right.
Those who know, and those who don't.
Right. Gotcha, man. Let's think on the music vibe first, and then we're gonna talk about hoops. But now I remember being on your show, Basketball Headzz. I know you talked about you had some great stories. I know you know some legendary cats. Kane is your man. I know that. And talk to me a little bit, if you can, there, G, about Big Daddy Kane, the first time you met Biggie, first time you met Jay-Z, and if you can, the first time you met Pac. Those legendary guys in hip-hop. Can you break that down for us a little bit? Because I know I want to get those stories, because those stories are amazing what you had, especially with the Kane. Because you talked about Kane. You talked about how Kane is a good cook, right? I never knew that. You talked about that, right?
Yeah. Big Daddy Kane is an awesome cook. Mm-hmm. Great guy. Mm-hmm. Overall, showed us a lot of love. Mm-hmm. And this is during a period of time when he was kind of on his decline. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we were here as a former friends and also as a former inspiration to let him know that he still have more to give.
Right.
And at that time, it was good for us to know that our hero liked our music.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it worked in both ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I met him through my friend A.B. Money, who's down with the group Rapping is Fundamental.
Rapping is Fundamental, yes.
Which Easy Mo B is a part of that group.
Easy Mo B, legend, yes.
Right. So I met A.B. through playing basketball, because he used to play for Sarah J. Hell, but then kind of fell off and mm-hmm. started getting into the music. Mm-hmm. But I used to go over there because my cousin used to tell me about A.B., and we used to, play basketball. And then once he transferred into the music,
mm-hmm.
and I went away to school, we kind of separated for a while because, I started back into my ball real seriously, going to high school and college and things.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got involved with DJing, because I was my school DJ for 89.1 FM.
Oh, yeah? What was your name, man?
Glenn Skill.
Really? I like it.
Yeah. Same as my rap name, was the same thing. So
mm-hmm.
That happened, and once I came home, these guys was winning a Grammy Award with Miles Davis because they produced Miles Davis' last album.
That's right. Rapping is Fundamental. That's right. I do remember that one. Nice, smooth jazz beats to it. Yeah.
So that video was playing on BET, having rotation, and Easy Mo B started to get a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's at this time, this is, even before that time, they was doing what they was doing. I came home, when I came home from school, basketball was kind of done because my mom was really ill.
Yeah.
And she was taking care of my sister's kids at the time. Mm-hmm. And then when I graduated, my mom passed 4 months later. Uh-huh. And then I took my nieces with me for 7 years mm-hmm. and got them straight. Got my sister, put my sister through rehab and all that. And with that, and in between those times, to get my mind off what I was going through, the music kind of helped me with that.
Yeah, definitely. Uh-huh.
I was a young man, 24 years old, dealing with a lot of things going on.
Right.
And luckily, I stayed focused in school. I didn't get sidetracked, and I graduated, on time.
That's great.
And able to land a really good job.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
So that worked out. So boom, I dive into the music because I want to prove to myself that I got what it takes. So I hooked up with my guy Pooh, who's a well-known artist. He has an art gallery.
Okay.
572 Myrtle Avenue in Brooklyn. He's like the artist to the stars. When I'm telling you, his work is like on 105.1. You'll see it in the back. It's the Nipsey Hussle drawing.
Wow.
Right?
Okay, nice.
So he was the first guy to put me in the studio. I did a demo, 2 songs, What Makes the World Go Round and Mad Degree. So I took What Makes the World Go Round so people was feeling that. And I got with my guy, Barbito, from the Stretch Armstrong and Barbito show.
Oh, no doubt, yes.
At 89 Tech 9, like all the underground stations. And I was winning the demo battle. So I won 2 demo battles just on my own without even the guys I was rocking with.
Man. And then you a baller too doing this too, man.
So after that happened, you know, I was inspired by Wu-Tang, and I was like, I want to get a group of guys together. And this way, I don't have to do that for this long. I can, you know, maybe strike a hit or 2 and then start pushing and falling to the background and doing behind the scenes. Right? So now we're moving into, after we did a whole album on our own, now we like ready for Easy Lil B. Even though I knew we had the plug, I didn't want to go to him empty-handed.
Right. Okay.
You go to people with like saying like, yo, this is some serious shit. You need to check it out.
Right.
So after we created a buzz for ourselves, I went again. I got my group, hit the underground scene again, won the demo battles again to show that, okay, I did it solo, now I can do it with a group. Cool. Because that was the biggest thing in the radio, to get your demos heard and to make some noise.
Definitely, yes. Please listen to my demo, EPMD, right?
That's the formula.
Yep.
So especially back then. And then hanging out with them in the studio and working on our next project, that's when we met Kane. And my guy AB used to always say, you guys need to go to Kane's crib and just hang out with him. You know what I'm saying? He was living in the Dominican States at the time. And it was awesome, man. We would go over there. We didn't have to eat. Look, he would just say, y'all come and do what y'all need to do, make yourself comfortable, kick back, and we just talk hip-hop all day.
Man. Hey, G. Go ahead.
We really played hip-hop if it wasn't one of our songs that we did for him, right? Because he usually listened to the older classics, but we talked a lot of hip-hop. He gave us a lot of insight on his career and what happened and why some of the decisions that were made.
Wow. Man.
So,
right.
That,
So
that helped us out. And then being over his house so many times, anybody could have came over. You know, one day, Busta Rhymes come over with Viola Pale Horse. You know that book?
Right.
Right. So that book is definitely kind of changed my life a little bit.
Man.
For the way I think.
Right.
But I just remember him saying, because I wouldn't let it go, he was like, yo, I know that book is deep, but make sure you leave it here. So, but then, you know, one night we was over there, you know, and Jay-Z come knocking at the door with the Rangers. And again, all these guys, just like ourselves, we all looked up to Kane. Like Kane's like the Godfather. You go to him and you bring your music, and you get the thumbs up.
Kane was that guy, man. Still is to me in my book. Dark Gable.
Oh, for sure. From him taking Jay-Z on a road and Positive K and giving him, you know, a spotlight to shine. This is why when Jay-Z opened up the Barclays Center, the only people that performed was him, his wife, and Kane.
Man. Wow, that's crazy.
Right.
Man.
So, you know, us being over there that day was, you know, just another day. And he was going over to, he was going up to Stretch Armstrong Barbito show. It's another place you had to go to get that pass.
Right, to get that on. Yeah. Hey, G, talk to us a little about that story that you talked to me about Biggie. Like he was asking you like about kids and stuff like that, right? Then you tell us about that story.
All right. So let me just wrap up this Jay-Z story real quick.
Okay, sure, no problem.
What I forgot to mention that day was when Kane and Jay-Z started to freestyle and they rapped for about a half hour. It's still rhymes I never heard Jay-Z say.
Wow.
And
Now, was this like a battle, or they was just freestyling off the top of the dome?
This is something that they always been doing when they got around each other. But it was the teacher passing the baton to the student. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He didn't like make Kane look bad, but you knew it was a new era.
Right.
All right.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a great night. And then we got a chance to rap as well. So that was a good night.
Man.
The night I met Big, that was the night that Easy Mo B was working on the song I Love the Dough with him and Jay-Z.
Yes, absolutely. Classic. Yup.
Right. So we're in the studio, and, you know, I watched him book a show to Jamaica, 12 first-class tickets, you know, $35,000. He did this right in front of me, like, the whole deal. But the conversation that we had was about having children and making sure you have children with the right person, because it could lead to difficulty, because that's what he was going through at the time.
Right, that's right, with Faith, right?
Yes, not being able to see his son as much as he wanted to.
Right.
So that, again, was something that I just always remember, because, you know, you figure he's like the number one star in the world at the time, and it just goes to show you that everybody has problems. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yup. No one's exempt from the problems. You know, how big you are, it don't matter, man.
Listen, the first night we actually met Big, though, was at our first show together as a group. It was at Easy Mo B's Golden Platinum Party. He was celebrating the Craig Mack hit that he had, and the Big E records that all was platinum and gold.
Man.
Big came and to celebrate, and my guy came to me and was like, yo, you guys got your tape? We perform off of Memorex tape, man.
Remember those Memorex? Oh, is it live or is it Memorex? Remember that, G?
So, boom, we popped it in, and we killed that, and Big was on the side of the stage, like, giving us that nod, like, he's got the official, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, that was major. That must have been major, man.
That was the first time, and then, of course, met him during the time in the studio. You know, I always get guys or people ask me, especially when they hear my music, and they go, damn, I never heard this.
Right.
Like I was telling you, it was a time in the industry where a lot of people were blocking the doors.
Yeah.
Like, there's a video of Irv Gotti actually admitting to closing doors on 50 Cent.
Really? Man.
Yeah, he doesn't back down from it. He's like, yo, we should have let some of the ladies that wanted to sign him instead of Dr. Dre, because Dr. Dre had a little bit more power.
Right.
You know, but that was kind of thing that was going on, and since we was down with Easy Mo B, and Easy Mo B never signed to Puffy, he was never one of the hitmen.
Right.
So imagine having a dude produce 5 joints on Biggie album, 5 joints on Craig Mack album, and you really not getting no money off it.
Man. Yeah.
At that time, Puffy was getting money off of everyone.
He's eating off everybody.
Right. So since my boy didn't do that, he made my boy pay. You know, not only blocking doors, but withholding like $10 to $12 million from him for over like 10 years.
Oh man. How are they now? Are they good now? Are they on good terms? Easy Mo B and Diddy?
Nah, I don't. They don't really deal with each other like that.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
But that's. It's not like I'm putting down the person's business, because that's public knowledge.
Sure. Right. Man.
But it kind of filtered down and affected us in a way.
Yep.
Thing, I always, had my college degree, and I always had a job, a career going on, even while I was rapping. I never quit my day job.
Yeah, nah, man. Those are legendary stories that you don't hear from the people, but you was like in the know in the business with all that, man, and and meeting all those legendary cats too, man. That's phenomenal stuff, man. That's, you know, I didn't know. I mean, when I came on your show, when I came on Basketball Heads, I was like, man, you know, my man Glenn is talking about some hip hop stuff, and I just never knew. But you know, now I know now, and now everybody else knows too, man. That's good stuff. Hey, so Glenn.
I stopped playing ball at like 28, 29.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Like,
right.
And that's like when like the M1 thing came around, I just was like, I'm not going up to the records in West Fork and these pro leagues no more because everyone wants to be on television. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. Man, hey, yep. Hey, G, let's talk some ball now, right? Because again, you got that show Basketball Heads. We're gonna talk about that too. But like, I just want to talk about you, like playing ball to start off. Like, you know, you in Bklyn. Like, who introduced you to playing basketball, man? You know, how did you get introduced into the game?
Well, I actually got introduced to the game indirectly by my cousin Cortez Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
He played for Madison High School, went to Colorado State. But I never saw him play. I just saw all his trophies, and I wanted some. It was just everybody used to look at them, and you know they were very shiny. Being a kid,
yep,
that was just my first like acknowledgement of basketball. But it wasn't the first sport I played.
Oh, what was the first sport you played?
First sport I played seriously was baseball.
Baseball, really? What position, G?
I played first base.
First base.
Yeah, and it didn't last too long because once one of my good friends got hit in the eye with a pitch, and I saw his eye, I was like, I'm done.
Oh, I could imagine, man. Oh man.
The next sport I played was football.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is crazy because the first time I went out for the team, you know, I just wanted to play a sport, but I had no idea what position to play.
Uh-huh.
So I was like 5'8", above 55, going out for like the offensive line.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. But it's where I can get a uniform, get a little dirty, and kind of hide and stay out playing a football team.
Right.
But it shows you that, you know, you're here for more than that. Right?
Yes, definitely.
So, first game, showed up. I didn't have any cleats. I had to run in my guy crib who used to play football. He wanted to save his size. He gave us some cleats. But they were like the old black China United cleats.
Oh, man.
So I showed up to the first game, and we went to Philadelphia, and Cats roasted me for 2 hours. And of course, you know what Glenn did, the old Glenn, you know, I quit. I was like, yeah, I ain't coming back to this shit. This shit's crazy.
That's it for that, right?
So that summer, my cousin and I played in this twin touch tournament, my neighborhood that everybody was playing in, and we had a really stacked team. And there was an all-star game that almost everybody on my team made, but they didn't want us to play on the same side because we was the dominant team, so they kind of split us up. And on my team, I was the wide receiver, and somebody else was the quarterback. So when they switched me to the other team, I became the quarterback from the other team. Right. And that changed everything because it was a leadership role position, and it was something I was meant to do. Because that was the first time I ever won a trophy, and at the end of the game we won, and my cousin and myself won MVP. I won it for offense, he won it for defense.
And you know, it's glad it's something about those trophies, man. Like you said, because you know, like with me, my brother was older than me. My brother had a whole bunch of trophies, and it was always something. I used to look at those trophies, man. Those trophies. Something about the trophy, man. About those goals, as they call them. You know, getting those goals.
Yeah, it meant a lot. So
yep.
That kind of inspired us. You know, now I have my cousin down with me, and we was gonna go back out for the team that was called the Renegades, the team that I left. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play quarterback, right? But I knew that they had 2 quarterbacks already, right? But I still could make the team and be on the team, right?
Right.
the team, the starting quarterback moved the tight end, and the second string became the first string. So that means I became the second string.
Right.
That was crazy. But okay, I'm with it. So now we go back to Philadelphia, our first game.
Uh-huh.
And of course, I'm dressed the appropriate way now because I know the rules.
Right.
And we go up there and we get our ass kicked in the first half, 21-6. My coach says I'm going to start the second half because our quarterback is not playing well.
Right, right.
I told my coach I didn't have a helmet because that was going to be my next plan if he asked me to play. I don't have a helmet. My coach is still living to this day. We talk about this story all the time. My coach Breeze.
Oh, that's cool.
And he told somebody to give me a helmet. Give me a helmet. One of the guys who wasn't playing. It's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me. He said, "Listen, I'm going with you, and I believe in you." He said, "The first thing you're gonna do, you're gonna come out. You're gonna throw a touchdown. You're gonna get us back in the game. You're gonna come out. We're gonna win this one."
Uh-huh.
I was like, "Yeah, all right, coach." My first pass ever in a football game was a long bomb touchdown.
Really? Your first pass?
Yeah. First pass. That went for a touchdown. And to make the long story short, I brought us back, and we wound up losing by 1 because my coach went for the win, for the extra point.
Right.
But we weren't mad because we took a 2-hour drive. We thought we was going to get our ass kicked like they always do to us. But,
right.
And then after that, we came back and we went undefeated, 21-0, and then I won the Headzz trophy for that youth league.
Get out of here. Man, so with all that success, what made you play ball?
Okay, so now I went to Lincoln to play football because the star running back of my team with the Renegades, he was going to Lincoln, but he was a year ahead of me.
Okay.
Because, my ass got left back, so he was a year ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he became a year ahead of me. Went to Lincoln, and he got into some beef with some people who I know because my family lives out Coney Island as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't there to stop it. So it went down. He transferred to John Jay, but I was still going to Lincoln.
Mm.
And when I got to Lincoln, playing JV football, I'm starting from scratch.
Mm-hmm. So you played JV football at Lincoln.
Right. And, when basketball season come around, my guys who I ride to train with, they want to go out for the team. And I'm looking at them like they're crazy. Like, look, don't y'all see they number 1 in the state? Like, they're not going to pick, why would they pick any freshman?
Right.
Like, why would they do that?
Uh-huh.
So, lo and behold, we all go out for the team, they get cut. I make it, and my coach choose 3 freshmen.
Man.
And I'm one of them.
And you're one of them. Hey, Glenn, before you continue the story, I just want to shout out who else is joining us today. We got my man Al joining us today. What's going on, Al? We got my man George, the Silver Fox Sylvie, joining us. We also got Tony Morales joining us. What's going on, Tony? We got my man James Randy Williams joining us. We got my man T. Doze joining us. What's going on, T. Doze? Everybody there, welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Appreciate you guys. Continue there, G. My apologies.
And that's what started the journey because it was another transition in my life that I had to make.
Mm-hmm.
And it was either football or basketball, and we didn't have a JV basketball team, so I was on varsity basketball while I played JV football.
Man, that is crazy, man. So
cool. I didn't quit football. I just chose the better sport for me.
Right, absolutely. Yup. Oh, man. Hey, quick question before we're going to talk about Lincoln. But why didn't you go to Grady, which is like literally across the street from Lincoln?
Well, I'm actually was from Crown Heights. So
okay.
I wasn't near any of those schools.
Oh, okay.
I actually went to Lincoln solely to play football with my God.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, my mom wasn't trying to let me go to any of the local schools. Then she wanted to send me out near my father as well.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
So that all worked.
Gotcha. Cool, man. All right, so let's talk about Lincoln now. So you go to Lincoln, you star on Lincoln. Talk to me about that city championship in '86, man. Like, talk to us about that, man. Being a champion, a PSAL champion. Talk to us about that.
Well, it was an exciting time, man. I had some really good guys on my team. Bernard Mitchell, Sean Williams, Peter Pierre, Dave Adabanjo,
yeah.
Ed Torella, Tiny Morton. We were a team of unknowns at the time because, our freshman year, we were loaded. Silk, Spice, Demar. We had 5 Division I players on that team.
Man.
And then my sophomore year, when the whole crew left, I got a chance to step into the star position, but we were just still building then, right? Because we beat Joe Green and Westhouse in the playoff, first round of the playoffs, and then we got blown out by boys and girls.
Okay, right.
So that summer between my sophomore and junior year, that's when we were kind of playing with each other. We were reveling, things of that nature, and I was just working on my game constantly, and we were tight as a team. So when we came back that year, we were ranked number 3, and that kind of gave us some confidence.
Man, okay, man.
Even though we had no all-city players on our team because Malik Steele team was number 1.
Yeah.
Jackson had Lloyd Daniels.
Yes.
And then they put us at number 3. And I think they put us at number 3 because we had a lot of guys who were down with me for my freshman year. Guys who were like sophomores and juniors who still was around.
Right.
So when we went into that year, I think we was like 23 and like 4, something like 26 and like 27 and 3, something like that. We didn't lose a lot of games. Our game was predicated on defense.
Okay.
And spreading the ball around. Some games I would be a leading scorer. Some games Sean would be a leading scorer. Bernard Mitchell. It kind of went between us 3.
Right.
And then Tiny kind of made the magic happen because without a New York City point guard, you ain't going nowhere in New York City.
This is true. Absolutely. Need the great point guard.
So he made things easy for us. And when we got to the clubs, we beat Westinghouse. We wanted revenge on boys and girls. We beat them. And then we played Manhattan Center, who was loaded. John Arnold, Tracy Murray, Al McCullough.
Yeah.
Carlton Hines.
Carl Duncan Hines, yes, man.
Listen, they were stacked. And, we beat them, man. And look, that year, myself, Dave Adabanjo, were given credit because we were definitely, and Sean Williams, right? Because we were like the how we say, the hype stoppers.
Okay, so you guys took pride in stopping the major guys out there. You guys took pride in that.
So guys like, Eric Ice Leslie, who was averaging like 39.
Yes. At Grady, right? He was at Grady, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We played with him twice. Got him twice. And beat them and made sure he didn't get his 39.
Right. Not against y'all, right?
Jerry McCullough. Just all those guys who we faced, man. And it was a magical time because it was my coach's first city championship.
Yep.
After having all the great players that he had. And then, that kind of started the foundation for us winning, I think it's 13.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. Yep. That was the foundation. That year was the foundation of the program. I mean, really to see it expire to the higher heights that it has inspired to.
Yeah, man. I always take pride in that, man. And, I always tell people, look, I got basketball heads, and it allowed me to have a platform, to get the positive messages across my basketball and shed some light on some of the greatest players.
Yeah.
Also, keep the Lincoln name alive.
Definitely.
Right? Yes. Because, plus, I'm going to ask you a question.
Sure.
Who's the winningest We have the most city championships in New York City.
In terms of like a high school?
Yes, PSL and PSL Catholic school.
Okay. All right. PSAL Catholic School has the most wins ever.
No, city championship win.
Oh, city championship wins. Okay. I'm going to say either Lincoln or Christ the King.
No.
Who is it?
And this is why I want to keep the Lincoln name alive.
Uh-huh.
It's DeWitt Clinton.
Clinton?
See?
Didn't know that.
Who put the most NBA players in the which high school put the most guys in the NBA?
Lincoln?
No.
Clinton?
Yes.
Didn't know that, man. Didn't have a
18 and 18. Now, on that list is Lincoln, is Clinton, Malloy, Jefferson, LaSalle, and Lincoln the top for 4.
Wow.
Yes.
Didn't know that, man. You learn something new every day. So you try to keep that alive. Okay, cool. Hey, so Glenn, man, couple of questions. Now, from Lincoln, you went to Maine Central, right?
Yes.
Now, did you play with Duncan Hines there? You play with Carlton Hines?
No, he came the year after. I did.
Okay, gotcha. How was your experience there?
Yeah, I was the first guy in New York City to go up there. He came up after me.
Right.
Another transition in my life.
Yes.
Because it was a new environment, different culture, and it allowed me to adapt to a different situation and help me grow.
Definitely.
So that was a great time. And I, me being an educator now and seeing how the wealthy learn, right? The wealthy learn the classes are set up like special ed classes because the wealthy learn only 12 to a classroom, 6 to 12. Whereas public school kids, it's like 35 to 50 kids in the classroom. Now they cut down to like 33, 30.
Right.
Right? How are you learning in that environment?
Yeah.
I know for me it was, I wasn't difficult that the focus wasn't there.
Right.
Until I got to Maine Central.
Sure.
And being able to see the difference. And now that I'm a dean of a special education high school, I see, it's 12 to 2.
Yes.
And I always say, damn, this is how the wealthy learn.
Yeah, the ratios, yep. The smaller ratios, that's how you learn.
Right. So I was able to go there, get my academics straight, did well up there. We kicked ass to the Northeast schools.
Right.
Kerry Golightly was on that team from Houston. Rob Dickens from Indiana State. Harry Potter from Ohio State was on that team.
Wow.
So we had the players, Robert Lewis from Eastern Michigan. So we had some teams. And, I wasn't a prepper. I was my senior year. Now, if I would have stayed, I could have played with Carlton High.
Right.
But it was just something about, I just felt like I was cheating the game. It might have been smarter, right? How people say, I'm the B class. I was just like, I did this year. I'm ready to move on to college.
Right.
And luckily I did because of the situation that was happening with my mom's. If I was still like a junior or a year behind, right, that took me a year back, I wouldn't have graduated that year. My mom passed and probably would have dropped out of school.
Yeah, man. So, it worked out for you, man.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. So from there, from Maine Central, you go to Fairleigh Dickinson, right?
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Okay, talk to me about FDU. Talk to me about that, that particular school and that run that you guys had in '92. I think your senior year, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a great time. Another transition in my life. I got to grow into an adult and handle my responsibilities on a day-to-day basis for 4 years.
Right.
Now the basketball was good, but I told my coach when I saw him last year, I never knew my coaches. All my assistant coaches used I was schooled as a revolving door for better situations.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So it wasn't consistent. It was very inconsistent. A lot of guys on my team weren't focused as a unit.
Right.
So instead of letting that sidetrack me, I still started all my years there and did well. It was my sophomore year where I got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
My sophomore year. Oh, excuse me. Let me go back.
Okay.
My freshman year, I was ruled ineligible.
Okay.
And it was a situation out of my control because I think my coaches were dishonest with me.
Mm-hmm.
My college coaches.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I spoke to people in my prep school, that all my grades came out correct. But I guess whatever they was doing, I got caught up in the situation.
Yeah. Yep.
I was gonna leave Philly Dickinson, and my mom told me not to.
Okay.
Which also, again, worked out.
Definitely.
So that next year, I went on to start all the last 3 or 4 3 years. So it was my sophomore year when, I was kind of tearing the league up, and then it kind of hurt my knee, tore my ACL, and that kind of put me back a little bit. It kind of gave me a reality check and kind of say, you know what, Glenn, you need to start enjoying life.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely,
because
yeah.
it was just all about basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I see how a lot of guys could fall into depression because the things that are working your way, it became easy to a lot of us. We start to veer off, and it messes us up emotionally.
Definitely.
So I'm glad I had some good friends to keep me balanced. I had a great campus life. I was part of, I won't say I was part of any organizations, but I dealt with everyone.
Right. And you was the DJ too, right, on campus, right?
Excuse me?
You were the DJ on campus too, right? Did you do the radio?
Yeah, for sure. So I had that going on, and there was one incident that kind of propelled me into a different stratosphere than a lot of players. In 1991, I gave a Headzz barbecue where a lot of different people from like the Teaneck, Bergen County area came. It was very huge. And they landed us in the paper because the cops showed up, and they showed up in like riot gear and dogs and shit. Like,
man. Right.
And me being a spokesman, because I gave it, and we had all the permission from our security, because I was cool with the head of security.
Right.
So we did all the right thing.
Right.
And it was the cops that was being aggressive, and one of the cops called me a nigger.
Man.
In front of everyone.
Right.
Right? The sergeant, whatever. The next day, the news was at my door. It was just crazy. And I felt like, again, my coach didn't really have my back. Right?
Yep.
Because my coach, before I got there, my coach was leaving Tulane from one of the biggest college scandals in America with John Hot Rod Williams.
Oh.
Remember that scandal?
Yes, I remember that. Absolutely. Yep. 100-point shaving scandal. Yep.
Right, but also he received $30,000 in a shoebox. That was the scandal.
Oh, right.
And they said, where it was, my coach and my athletic director had something to do with it. And they left, Louisiana to come up to New Jersey. So it's a whole different world from being in Louisiana to being in New Jersey.
Absolutely, yep. I lived in New Orleans for 8 years. I know all about Louisiana, yep.
Right, so they didn't want none of that dirt to follow them. So you kind of swept it under the rug, gave them some sneakers,
right.
the nigga shit.
Yeah, yep.
Because he was saying, you don't want to sue these guys. These are the same guys who come to our game and try to protect us and all this and that. And again, it was a situation where I didn't trust my coach.
Right. Yep.
So that, I think I still have the article. Maybe I'll post it one day. And that right there just let me know, man, you finished up. You had a good basketball career.
Yep.
Make sure you graduate and do the thing that you want to do.
Definitely. Yep. So you got that paper, man. You got that degree, man. What'd you major in there, G?
Business management.
Me too, man. I'm a business management grad too. There we go. That's why we vibe so well, G. That's why, man.
Yeah. And I got my master's in education. So.
Oh, that's great, man. That's phenomenal, man. I'm sure that's a promise that you probably made to your mom. I would imagine that.
Yeah, just the a whole lot of family to be that rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just basically it, man. I just try to stay solid all the way through, and you know, and be good, be a good person, and be good to people. That's it.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. And speaking of good, you know, being good to people and everything, man. I know that what you are, man. I want to talk about Basketball Headzz, the show. Again, I had the great pleasure of coming on your show, man. And again, I'll let you know, G, I had a blast, man.
Thank you. It was fun having you.
Yeah, definitely, man. Talk to me about Basketball Headzz. How did it come about?
Well, I won't say I take all the credit for it because a couple of friends been trying to talk me into starting a show. I don't even call it a podcast, I call it a show. And it was just throwing different ideas, and I didn't want to beat the same hip hop drum, right?
Right.
I wanted to do something different. And one of my best friends, you know, he suggested, you know, we do a basketball show, and I didn't see it at the time. Then my other best friend, who did, and they weren't in communication,
right,
sent me a text one day and was like, yo, started a basketball show called Basketball Headzz. You know, spelled differently than all the others do.
Right.
So it was just like the idea. And then I think the week before we kind of got shut down with the pandemic, another good friend of mine worked for CBS Sports. They built a studio down at Dumbo. And he was like, yo, G, we, you know, got the space. We got the streaming company. He was wondering if you like to do a show because, basketball show, because what you do in your other page. Now, my Glenn Skills page is all different kind of, you know, political stuff. But when the basketball season comes around, I'm at all like the high school basketball games. And my guy saw that and said his youngest son would follow me during those times so he could, you know, watch some of the games.
Right.
And I was just like, you know, three people telling you something who are not in communication with each other, something must be, you know, the stars must be lining up.
Definitely,
so
yes.
I decided to push the button on it, and then the nail in the coffin was for me was watching Lamar Odom on Drink Champ. And how he was represented. And, you know, I'm not going to put any blame on Nori. I just want to say I just want to create a platform for ball players to come on and tell a story without feeling like people want to dig into their dirt.
Right, like a safe place, like a safe space that you create on the show.
Like,
right.
I don't care about anybody's dirt. I had this conversation with a friend of mine where he was like, you know, like tougher questions. I said, yo, I'm not into doing tough questions. I'm into doing good questions.
Yep, absolutely.
The difference, right?
No doubt about that.
I don't want to set nobody up and blindside them. That you got a whole bunch of other sites for that. You got newspapers. You got ESPN for that.
Yep.
I'm not doing it.
Right, man.
So we need a safe space so we can come and tell our story and be celebrated.
Definitely.
The way they do on Drink Champs with their God.
Yep. And like you say, you know, you get a chance to smell your flowers while you're here, you know?
Listen, man, we lost a lot of people, man, and no better time to do it than now.
Definitely. Hey, so Glenn, couple of things. Like, besides me, obviously, because again, I had a fun time. I had a great show. I had a great time on the show. But who were some of your favorite guests on the show? I know I was probably one of your favorite guests, right?
Now listen, all of them are my favorite because everyone is different.
This is true. You got good point.
You know,
yeah.
I have a set questions that I ask, but I tweak them for each guest. Right? I always ask each guest who introduced them to the game.
Yep.
I always ask them who answered their bus. Right? It's just certain ones you just kind of leave, and the rest you kind of suited for their style and who they are. So, but some of the more interesting ones that I had was, of course, Rob Strickland.
Rob Strickland, okay. Wow, okay.
Which was dope. Ephraim Whitehead was great because he gave a real testimony about his emotional state and what he was going through after basketball. Jamal Robinson.
McClancy's finest, yes.
Yeah. You know, and a lot of things that he went through at Virginia and choosing the wrong school.
Yeah.
And that's something I think I did. I chose a great school socially, right, academically, but not a good basketball fit for me.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember you talking about that. I remember you talked about that on the show. You talked about, because we talked about it in length about, it's all about choosing the right fit for you. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing these kids got to realize.
This is why I give you, when I heard you was going to Manhattan, I was like, yo, he's going to the right school for him.
Yeah.
You know? So, looking back at it, you know, I don't get caught up in like, you know, damn, I should have went there. You know, I made the decision to do what I did.
Right.
And I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And I think if a lot of guys thought like that, and say, you know what, it happened. Let me just move on to the next part.
Yeah, definitely.
Things will be okay.
Mm-hmm. And you know, Glenn, and you know, like on your show, Basketball Heads, the thing I really liked was the artistry, like your artist, man. Talk to me about that artist. Was it Jamel Powell, right?
Jamel Powell, yes, Jamel.
Oh, man.
Again, guy who I worked with, I coached against him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've known each other for a while, and he saw that I was doing the podcast, and he asked me one day, he was like, yo, gee, I'm kind of falling off my artistry because I'm not at work. Would you mind if I draw a few of your guests? And that's how it was, you know. And then it became a thing. It was like, I'm coming back tomorrow. And we just said we're going to make it part of the show. So, and I think that, you know, there's a few people out there doing their thing. A-Game Podcast, my guy Kate Purnell. All Things Hoop, my guy Coach B. And I just try to say, what can I do to make mine different?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the beginning, I used to come on and do my shows and people are going to see this once I start uploading all my shows up to YouTube. You'll see in the beginning, there was no real intro. It was kind of waiting for the people to come in the room. And then you see that I start switching it up.
Right.
You know, now I got an intro for everyone, a different intro for everyone, and also added music, right? One of my songs in the intro of the show. So that is a little different than what people is doing. And again, just bringing my natural personality to the show.
Right.
And again, it's a lot of people that come onto the show know me or know me indirectly, and some don't. And when they get to meet me, it's just like, okay, it's like that basketball brotherhood.
Yes.
You know how it is, Russ.
Yes, no doubt.
And y'all guys connect, and you guys share something in common, and it makes it easier for the conversation to flow.
Yes, definitely. And that definitely with the artist, I mean, with Jamel, I mean, the portrait he made of me, like how he sketched that, man, I was blown away, man, because he was doing it while we were talking, so I had no idea. And then you switched over to him, and he just drew the picture, man. It was so dope, man. I was like, man, this is incredible, man.
Listen, one of the first, not saying the first, I think Epplin was the first one we did. But I remember having Jerry S. Reynolds on the show. And every once in a while, he would just look. Like, I could tell he was looking at my guy. He was just like, he wasn't sure what the dude was doing. And
right.
He was like, yo, G, can I ask you a question? What is my guy doing in the back?
Right. Yep.
And every once in a while, when I show people, they go, oh, y'all always wondered what he was doing in the back.
Yeah, yep.
So I think that's another one. Again, just something that to give people show our appreciation.
Definitely. Yeah, man. I can't, man, I tell you what, I don't know what I got to do, G, but I got to get that portrait, man. It was fire.
I'm sitting out, and I put out a PSA out on Instagram, let guys know my guy worked hard to do this. So
yes.
They get these pictures. All I'm asking, do a short video. Yo, thank you, Basketball Head, Jamel Powell.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
I got it. Yep. When I get that, I'm gonna definitely put that PSA out there. No doubt about it, man. You got that.
Yeah. I'm sending some out this weekend.
Okay.
And and keep doing that for the time out because we got a shitload of pictures we got to put out. We sent out our first 15, and then now we got like another 20 we got to sit out. So.
Cool.
Yeah, and you one of those. I'll make sure you get yours.
I appreciate that. I appreciate it. And don't forget the game over shorts too. I need those too. I need that look too, because that's a nice look too.
I got you.
I appreciate that, G. Hey, G.
Every kick at Game Over, he's been a great sponsor, so
okay.
Definitely got you.
Cool, no doubt. Hey, G, last question I got, man. I appreciate your time, you coming on, man, just giving us the real on it, man. I really do. Hey, G, so question for you, man. Now, if it was 2 words to describe the life and times of Glenn Pooh Harding, what would those 2 words be to sum you up?
2 words?
2 words. I got an answer, but I want to hear what you say. I want 2 words to sum up my man G Harding. I know it's a tough one.
No, I would say an innovator and motivator.
Ooh, okay. There you go. You want to know the 2 words I got for you?
What's that?
Go hard. Go
That's it, man.
hard.
That's it. Yo, Russ.
Yes, sir.
That's what I'm going to do for you, right?
What's up?
I'm going to send you a mixtape that I did a long time ago. What time of years ago? I feel like it's over 10 years. Everything I done was going to say is over 10 years.
Can you send that to me too? I got to hear this.
I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to send you the link right now so you can check it out.
Okay. Nice. I can't wait. I can't wait to get that link and listen to that. I can't wait to get that portrait.
And, tell me what you think.
Oh, I definitely will. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. My man, Glenn Harding. Hey, one last thing, man. Why they call you Pooh?
Well, my sister gave me that name. She thought I was going to be a girl, so it was actually Pooh.
Really?
and then when I came out, she just cut that.
Right.
And my sister and I were very close. That's what kids I took care of when she passed away.
Oh, wow. Gotcha, man. Okay, man. Another one.
And again, when I was, I didn't like my name, Glenn, until I got to high school. It was just, at the time, coming up in the 70s, you give me this white name, blah, blah, blah. So I would just tell everybody my name is Pooh. But once I started getting older, I started realizing that when people saw my name, Glenn Harding, they couldn't tell what color I was.
Good point.
And I knew that because when I would show up to people's offices or people, places, and say I'm Glenn Harding, I know I would definitely get that look. I didn't know if it was that because I was tall,
right,
or because I was a tall black man.
Right, right. Definitely, man. My man, Glenn.
I'm definitely proud to be who I am.
Yes.
And I love my people, man. So thank you, Russ. I appreciate you, brother.
No problem, man. Hey, man, again, ladies and gentlemen, you can find my man Glenn Pooh Harding on Basketball Headzz, seen every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday on IG Live. My man Glenn, hey, you're a man of your word. You said you were going to come on. I'm glad you did, man. And again, we're going to connect as we always do, brother.
And with 2 Z's at the end.
That's right. With 2 Z's at the end. Basketball Headzz with 2 Z's at the end.
That's right.
Yes. Make sure you check my man on his show, man. The classic show, man. I had a ball on there, man. And we're going to still keep supporting each other like we always do. Right, G?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm definitely going to check you out, man. And definitely be in contact with you. Tomorrow we have DJ Mighty Mark.
Oh,
right?
okay.
He's a 105.1 DJ, and he also plays for Cardinal Hayes.
Wow, okay. So he's on the show tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, make sure you follow my man Glenn Harding too, man, out on IG. No doubt about it. Cool.
Thank you, Russ.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. I'll be in touch, my man.
All right.
All right. Later, man.
Yeah.
All right. My man Glenn Harding. Again, you can catch his show, Basketball Headzz, with 2 Z's. Basketball Headzz with 2 Z's. Seen every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday on IG Live. Catch my man. Catch him. Man, great interview. Great stuff, man. Some great stories. So, we were talking ahead of time, and again, I left you guys with the question. If you guys still around, hopefully still around, joining us here, because that was a long interview, but it was a great informative interview. But again, we talked about number 45, and I put the question out there for everybody. Dude's number 45, does he actually have the virus? I haven't seen anybody commenting on that, so I don't know. We'll leave it at that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on that. But so just stay tuned, because we don't know what's gonna happen next. But stay tuned on that. And before we go, I have a funny story I want to share with you guys. I'm not sure if you guys know Julius Randle. Julius Randle plays for the Knicks. And I saw this video that's going around, and maybe you guys saw it. I know it's gone viral. But it shows his son. His son has to be maybe 6, 7 years old. He's playing in a game, and it looks like he's wide open. He wants the basketball, and his teammate has the basketball. And he clearly sees that he doesn't want to pass the ball, actually. He doesn't want to pass the ball to Julius Randle's son. So what does Julius Randle's son do? Julius Randle's son decides to tackle his teammate, the one that was supposed to pass the ball. He just tackles his teammate, man. I just thought that was the funniest thing, man. Oh, my God. Julius Randle's little son. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Julius Randle was telling him, hey, go get the ball, go get the ball. And he literally got the ball and he tackled his teammate because he didn't pass on the basketball. So I just thought that was so cute, you know what I mean? The kid has to be maybe 6 or 7 years old, and he tackles his teammate. I thought that was kind of funny, man. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. Hopefully you guys get a chance to see that viral video. Again, it's Julius Randle's son. He's open. He's wide open for the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. And clearly his teammate is a little taller than the defenders, so he knew the defenders were coming. He clearly saw that he could have passed the basketball. He didn't. And again, Julius Randle's son decided to tackle him because he didn't pass the basketball. Oh, my God. That was funny stuff. So I just wanted to share that story. And make sure, if you didn't see that, take a look at that video. You got to see it. Again, that's Julius Randle's son on that. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, or think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major today. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. As I go to my, let's see, we're going to go to my music here. Speaking of music. Now. All right, my theme song is on. Perfect. Hey, so ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching Transition Tuesdays each and every Tuesday. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't done so already, you can always follow me on Instagram at rworldtransitions with an S. Join me there for the conversation. If you haven't got my book, Transition Game Plan, Simple Steps to Achieving Personal Success, you can do so. I know you have a copy. Get 2 copies. You can do that on Amazon.com. Or you can always inbox me and I can send you an autographed copy, signed copy of the book. Love to do that for you as well. If you missed our episodes, past episodes, and today's episode, we have a YouTube channel, Transition Tuesdays. I always post the videos there, so take a look at that. Check that out. Okay. Again, I want to thank my man, Pooh for coming on the show. And again, his show is Basketball Headzz. That's seen every Sunday, every Monday, and every Wednesday on IG Live. Check it out. Great show, great guest, man. Thank you, G, for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate you. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we always say in parting, happy transitioning, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. One love.